Hi everybody, welcome to the OAG I'm Craig. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel today to take a look at the Tamiya 50th Anniversary RC book that's just come over to me from Japan. Now, I'm going to be looking at the history of Tamiya from 1974 all the way through to the more modern releases in 2025, because it just got up to 25 when you get inside the book. I've had a quick flick through, but not a massive one. So join me as I go through and take a look what is in this book. Well, I don't know how easy this is going to be because it is quite a thick book, but we'll try and just leaf through it a little bit. So you get this lovely cover for the book, which I will take off for a second while we flip through it, which has got, it looks like the original Tamiya 100 on there that starts right back at the first RCs and works all the way through to the end of that first 100. So that's quite a nice little spread there. So I'll put that to one side. On the back, it's got some of the more modern buggies with a nice little montage of the historic ones. So you get these books from time to time in Japan, and I really wish they would produce English ones for us to enjoy in the US, the UK, and into Europe as well. But we'll take what we get. I managed to get this from Amazon Japan, actually, shipped over to the UK. So it's mainly for my enjoyment. I just like flicking through these things, really. Starts off with the Tamiya 2025 lineup. So these are the things that it says, first half of 2025. So that is everything we know about, which does leave me quite hopeful that they've got some interesting stuff still to come at the back end of this year, which would be nice. Now, I can't read Japanese, so I can't pretend to give you an overview of what's going on here, and I'm not Google translating the whole thing for you guys. But certainly there's some nice little write-ups about some of the RCs and where it all began back in the late 70s. The very, very first Tamiya RC car, the Porsche 934. Those big chunky D-cell batteries in. Still, lovely body shell. And Tamiya were into modelling, weren't they, at the time? So you expected the body shell to be nice. A few more Porsches there. Then the six-wheeler Tyrrell, which we've had a re-release of. But I don't think that's anything like the original design and the re-release. The XR311, which can still be picked up today. Lamborghini Countaches, Porsche Turbos, some very, very nice models. But all these are road cars. They're all meant for on-road running. They're all flat pans. And then, look at that, that's cool, isn't it? Three-wheeler. Then we get to the Sand Scorcher and the Rough Rider, their first all-terrain vehicle to go off-road, play about on-road. Some more about the guidebooks there. In fact, quite a lot about the guidebooks. I remember some of these, I remember getting some of these and flicking through them. Some more Formula 1 cars. I've said to you guys before how I really wish Tamiya would get some licenses for some Formula 1 cars again. The Holiday Buggy and the Sand Rover came along then. We're probably up to 1980 and 81 now. That Golf came back, didn't it? That livery came back, or a very similar one came back on the MO5 recently. And a Renault 5 Turbo down here. That's a great body shell, that would be. Toyota 4x4, Ford Ranger, the Blazing Blazer, which I know a lot of people, that's one of the Tamiya unicorns, isn't it? People want to see that. Would love to get their hands on something like that again. 1982, that was released. Some more lovely F1 cars. Just Tamiya's history is steeped in the race cars and the F1s. And then these fun rally cars that came on this funky off-road chassis, which I think led ultimately on to the design of the 959, which we'll get to very shortly. The Super Champ with that awesome mono shock at the back. The iconic Wild Willies. The Brat on the ORV chassis. The City Turbo, which we've got coming back, albeit on a slightly different type of chassis. Then you've got the original Lancia Rally down here, which is also on the ORV. The Frog. This Porsche 956, which recently got a re-release as well, albeit with a different livery set. Then the iconic buggies started to come, the Grasshopper, the Hornet, the Fast Attack vehicle, the Hot Shot in 1985, the Wild One in 85 as well, the Fox there. Some beautiful Le Mans type cars down here. There's the Road Wizard, the generic Formula 1 car, which, yeah, they could redo that, couldn't they? Then some really iconic RCs on this page. The Super Shot, the Boomerang, the Big Wig, which we've got coming back this year, and the one that everybody wants, the 959, full half page or more than half page spread for that. The Falcon tucked away at the top that I know people would like to see come back, and I would, just for spare parts, given that I've rebuilt one recently. Some big chunky monster trucks coming, the Monster Beetle, the Lunchbox here. This was 1987 was the Lunchbox, the Hot Shot 2. The Clodbuster came out in 87 as well. That Lotus Honda, beautiful car. Another rally from the Toyota Celica. Thunder Dragon here, down there. That was an iconic chassis as well. That was a revolution, that's that chassis when it came out, and that spun a whole node of series of different four-wheel drive. And then in 88 we had the Avanti, a full page spread for a Tamiya icon there. Fantastic. Terra Scorcher, Vanquish at the top, the poor man's Avanti, and then the Egress, which was the refinement of that chassis in 89. We've got the Astute over here in 89 as well, the King Cab, which a lot of people like down here, the Madcap. Just so many iconic Tamiyas. Then we go into 90s. I remember some of these guidebooks as well. Look at that Ferrari F1, that'd be stunning. The Manta Ray. The Hilux is up there, Toyota Hilux. That Mercedes-Benz that we've had recently re-released. The Bullhead, now that'd be a good one to have come back, wouldn't it? You don't see many of those these days. 1990 that came out. Tamiya still pushing heavily their racing heritage. Lotuses, Tyrrells, the Bearhawk down there from 91. And then the evolution of the TA chassis, the TA01 chassis. The Super Astute that came out in 91. The Top Force in 91. So while the road cars were continuing to evolve with the TA chassis, we saw the buggies continuing in the same vein with the... certainly with the Top Force, which is an extension of that chassis. We've got this Mazda coming back. Still unclear to me as to whether or not that's a limited release or not. Some lovely F1s, the Jordan up there as well. Top Force Evo down here in 92. Look at that McLaren. That is beautiful. And the Williams as well down here. Some of these iconic cars, you know, if Tamiya could get the livery and the licensing to produce these again, they'd be absolutely fantastic. And then we're going to start to see this book being dominated by TA01s very shortly. But before we get there, we've got a few more iconic buggy releases. The Terra Conqueror and the Dynastorm coming at the end of 92. Before we are just going to see lots and lots and lots of rally chassis and road chassis. Look at the decals on that skyline there. The Blitzer Beetle in 93. The Dyna Blaster in 93. The Super Hornet, which lots of people like, came out in 93 as well. A lovely Benetton F1 at the top. And still lots of road cars appearing now. It seemed that the off-road cars disappeared. We had the release of the CC01 in 93. And then lots of road chassis coming. Tamiya clearly found their market. People wanted the road cars. They wanted to run these things on flat parking lots. The TA02 is an evolution. The MO1 with the Mini Cooper shell there. That was in 94, at the end of 94. We're still seeing F1 cars being pumped out with fantastic body shells. And then the evolution of the M chassis, MO1, the TA02, the FF01 comes in here. So this is now where we're at to 96, I think right now, 95, end of 95. We've got the MO2, loads and loads of road chassis now. The CC01 sticks around, but the focus for Tamiya moved onto road cars. Then the buggy, we see a revival of the buggy in 96 with the RX. The DT01 Was never really going to be one to rekindle the love of a buggy. It would take a bit more than that. Porsche GT's nice there. The TA03R. Still seeing Formula One kits coming out, but this time they're just lacking a decent licensed body shell. Oh, King Backfoot, I missed that one back here as well. MO3, the Mad Bull down here, 97. Something slightly different on the buggy chassis, and the Blazing Star there, which was on the is that on the DF chassis? I can't remember. Lots and lots and lots of road cars. The Baja Champ, the TL01B, and the TL01s come in, so we must be now towards the end of the 90s, 98. It's a lovely Ferrari livery there from 98 as well. So they still did have some licensed F1 cars coming out, even in the late 90s. Lots of rally cars, but unfortunately not really a rally chassis. They were for running on the road, not for running off-road. The Wild Dagger and the Juggernaut. McLaren Mercedes and MP413. So that was 99. Still seeing licensed F1 cars. Then we started to see some of the re-releases. The Wild Willy 2 on the WR02 chassis. So the same buggy, or same car that we'd seen before, but now on a different chassis, giving that body shell a new lease of life. Then we're into the 2000s. The guidebooks have changed. They've gone from being those lovely detailed guidebooks that Tamiya were renowned for producing into being more of a catalogue than anything else. Then we roll forward to lots of TL, still lots of on-road kits coming. The Mad Fighter comes, a buggy on the DTO1. The Mammoth dump truck, very cool. We're starting to see some of the evolutions of Tamiya's race kits, and they're starting to come forward a little bit as well, which is very nice. They're starting to develop those higher spec RC cars for racing. Still got Ferraris here. This is 2002. Still had a Ferrari livery, but also a generic body shell as well. We're still on the MO3. The TL01 still rocking at this part. And we see the TB01 introduced, and the first TT01 with an Enzo Ferrari. What I'd give to see that body shell come back on a TT02. 2003, maybe they'll reserve that for the TT03 perhaps. Williams BMW there on a F1 chassis. They were still about, but the TT01 is clearly becoming their chassis of choice. They're still running the TB chassis as well. TRF chassis kit coming in there. 2004. That's a cool Touareg on the CC01 there. The DF02 chassis. The Hornet re-release in 2004. The Gravel Hound. The Super Fighter G on the DTO2. So that was the evolution of the DT chassis. So the DTO2 was 2005. So I said on my build video for the DTO4, it was a 20-year evolution of that chassis. So that's where it started after the improvements from the DTO1. Still on the TTO1, the TA's progressed onto the 5 now. The Grasshopper re-release in 2005. The Lunchbox in 2005. This is where Tamiya's really going into their back catalogue and bringing back those re-releases that sold very, very well, which has led us to where we are today. The Frog in 2005. Look at that F40 body shell there. And that's just a finished body, it says there. So that must have been like an XB build. There's the Le Mans again. The Manta Ray came back in 2005. I didn't know that. So did the Thundershot, and so did the Top Force. So I always think of re-reads as being more of a modern thing, but clearly in 2005, Tamiya were more than happy to dip into the back catalogue and give people what they wanted. Dark Impact, still available to buy today, the DF03. First came out in 2006. And same with the Sand Viper, which you can still pick up today. That was 2006 as well. Some incredible body sets with the Ferrari license, with the FFX there. The Keen Hawk. The Hot Shot re-release in 2007. The DB01, that was 2008, I believe. Just checking my numbers. 2007, actually. Fire Dragon re-release. Some fantastic RCs over the years. There really, really has been just an absolute wealth of RCs. Now there's the F1 that we see today. That body set has been around, that kit has been around since, what's that, 2009. Oh, that's an interesting one there. The DF03RA, a proper rally chassis with a Subaru Impreza body cell on top. The CR01 on a Ford Bronco for a bit of crawling. We're still on the TT01, although it's the Type E now. I've not seen a TT02 just yet. There's the MO5 Pro chassis kit coming out. The Fiat Abarth. There's the Lancia Delta on that DF03R. Ferrari F60 Formula 1. So they still were getting licensed F1s in 2009. Where are they today, Tamiya? Lots more Tamiya RC guidebooks. As we move into yet more releases, more re-releases, more different road chassis. MO6, the FF03 Pro chassis. The Holiday Buggy came back, albeit on the DTO2. The one that got away for me, the Tamiya Zahak on the DN01. I really, really wanted one of those. And they were still producing those back just after the pandemic, and I missed out on it 10 years on. Such a shame. Wish I had one. McLaren Mercedes down there in 2010. The Stadium Blitzer was re-released in 2010. Or was that released in 2010? Runs the MO5 that had a Mini Cooper chassis. Still haven't seen a TT02, the Avanti 2011. The TA is up to 06. TA02 truck. Baja truck, very nice. Re-release of the Blitzer Beetle. The DB02 Leonis. Such a lovely machine that was. RMO1. Look at that Ferrari there on the TA06, that's beautiful. Still no TT02. The XV01 chassis kit here came out in 2012. And we still see that kit today. Because it's such a great kit. Such a brilliant kit. The one Watanabe Hornet there in 2012 originally. That's coming back this year, isn't it, for a re-release? Still no TT02. It's got to be coming soon. The TT01 was milked for a very, very long time. Very long time indeed. The XV01T. Oh, that's a great truck. That I'd love to have got one of those. Fantastic. Got TT01 still. The Farm King Wheelie. What a fun chassis that one is. A Ferrari F1 in 2012. Beautiful. The Ferrari license must have gone at some point. There's the TT02B and there's the TT02. So that's 2013. So that chassis kit's been going for over 10 years now. Surely got to be time for a refresh, hasn't it, Tamiya? Surely. Still more re-releases. Still got Ferrari license back here in 2013. Wow, look at that. TB04. La Ferrari. Egress re-release in 2013. The DTO3 came out in 2014. It's only 4 years. No, that's 10 years after we had the DTO2. The MO6 chassis with the low-ride pumpkin. That's really cool. Oh, wouldn't I love to see a TT02 truck again, a TT02T, the Sand Shaker. Love to see one of those pop up again, that'd be cool. Honda City Turbo, that's the one we've got re-releasing. So that was the original re-release in 2015, and we've got that coming again this year. Really are seeing some different type of bodies. The shells have become more production shells. The Ferrari license has definitely gone now. We're in 2016. Not seen a Ferrari for a while now, but lots of Mercedes. The Kong head, the 6-wheeler there, the MO7 concept kit. Now, a lot of these models are still available today. You can still pick these up. You can't get them all, but you can still get some of them. The Comical Grasshopper on that WR02 chassis. MO8 concept back there. The Rally MO5. And we've got some lovely journalistic pieces in the middle, which at some point I'll get the old Google Translate out and give them a go. The TCO1 in 2018. That's a nice chassis. I like the lay down shocks on that. The VQS released in 2020. Still would love to get one of those. The TTO2 Fast Track with the quad tracks on there. Very cool. The Blockhead Motors Wild one. The Super Avanti TD4. You'll see there's a massive gap of lots of re-released buggies. The DTO3 was the last new buggy shell until the TD4 and the TD2 came out in 22 and 23. The XV Pro chassis, the BBOX, the BBX, the BBO1 down here, the TTO2 BR, the pinnacle of their buggy chassis for the TT range. Then we really are getting into the modern stuff. The squash vans in here, the MBO1 chassis, the BTO1, the XMO1, right through Hornet Evo and Peugeot 306 Maxi. Very, very cool. So that is our standard RC kits. And then what they then go into is all the limited edition ones they released. And there's quite a lot. There's a bus. There's a Hop Top, Subaru, the MS line, the gold lunch boxes, anniversary kits of F1s. Absolutely beautiful. Lots of very high quality kits. Would love to see some of those coming back. The black editions are in these limited runs as well. The metallic versions, long damper specs for the XV chassis, bright metallic pink buggies like this one. There you go. Mini OAG still yet to give that a blast. She just likes looking at it. The RRRRRRRs for the DBO ones, the re-release of the fighting buggy. We've got some really limited edition kits coming in here. These are the ones that they're now saying are limited releases. Project series, I'm not quite sure what they mean by that, but they're probably just still limited releases of different RC kits that have come and gone, like the Egress Black edition over the years. Then they go through all the expert builds that they've done over the years. So there's pages of these over the years of where Tamiya would just do a full kit, sometimes with batteries, sometimes not. Jumping forward a little bit now because there's just so many pages. We're 250 pages into this now. So you've got all the expert built vehicles over the years. Then they've got their Nitro RC Glow Engine series. Some of those would have been absolutely fantastic back in the day. Not very popular now. Nitro vehicles. What was the last one that Tamiya did? 2015. Oh, maybe not. Oh, these are expert build ones. So yeah, the last kit was 2015. TamTech gear series. So they started off way back. Let me turn back a bit. So that was the first one there in 86. Loads of these little smaller buggies and smaller RCs. But unfortunately, outside of Japan, they had a massive following. The Dancing Rider on the T301. And the mini lunchboxes down here as well. Some lovely artwork and loads of Tamiya icons. The Quick Drive series from the 80s. They got those in here as well. All the way through to some of the zanier ones that were copied from the four-wheel drive models, which is great. Can't understand why the Rookie Rabbit's all the way down here. That must have been something they did special. Then we got the trucks and the cabs. What was the first one of those? 93, it says there. Don't hold me to that. I'm just reading from the book. But loads of lovely trucks. And some tanks. The original one of those was 74. I actually think that was probably the first RC was the tank. There's going to be loads of these military vehicles. Tamiya, very, very big on these types of models, all the detail. Some boats. Not one for me. Not with my driving, that's for certain. A couple of planes. The Solar Eagle down here, very cool. And then a little bit about the TRF buggies and the TRF cars as well. A separate section for that racing factory. And some of the classics that they've produced. The TRF 201, 501, 511. Absolutely beautiful. Such a history over the 50 years, really. Absolutely fantastic. And then we get into the battery history of all the Tamiya batteries that were produced, the motors that they produced. And then we've got an RC item, the Tamiya RC item all list, which must be every single Tamiya part code from the last 50 years. I mean, it's cool, isn't it? I'm not sure how good my Google Translate's going to work through all that, but it's nice to have that as a record of 50 years worth of Tamiya codes and parts to find parts that I might need in the future. Most excellent. What do you think? Tamiya, 50 years. I wonder how big the 100-year catalogue was going to be, and I really hope that I'm around to see that one, although I will be 94 years old, so I probably won't be YouTubing by then. But what a fantastic walk through history. If you're interested in getting this, check it out. I picked up mine from Amazon in Japan and had it imported into the UK. I really wish that Tamiya would do some English versions of these, so maybe we should get on to Tamiya UK and say, wouldn't it be lovely to have a UK production of this for the fans in the UK and Europe. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all soon on the OAG RC. Bye for now.